Okay, today's video, we're going to talk about doing local marketing of a product that you normally sell nationally through something called local adaptation marketing. Usually an example of local adaptation marketing, given that marketing is not typically advertising like people think it is, it's developing a product that the market wants and then bringing it to market. But what people normally refer to this term is like Burger King or McDonald's having a different menu in every country that they're in to adapt to the local tastes. It's not exactly what I'm talking about today, even though this is the same thing, but just done in a different way. I don't hear anybody talking about these concepts, and this is something I stumbled upon and tried out myself for our clients, and it worked phenomenally well. If you want to put in a little extra work and get more ROAS or ROI from your campaigns that you're running online to sell a product, whether that be a mattress, a tennis racket, whatever you're selling, and you're not a local business, you can make more money, more ROAS, more ROI from selling that product nationally by speaking to people as if you kind of are a local company to people in a local market. So saying, Johnny and Sally and Mark have bought this product in the Dallas area. Marketing that message to people in Dallas, even though it makes it seem like you're local, but you're not local, but by the fact that you're speaking as if you are a local company, you actually are separating you and all the other competition in your market that's also selling nationally. This works really, really well. That's one example of local adaptation marketing that as it applies to running online advertising campaigns to get them to work. The other, of course, is getting people that are notable in your local market. So local celebrities that people, or should I say not your local market, but in a local market. There's certain people that are celebrities in their little local area. Instead of paying $50,000 to get a shack to endorse your product and using that as leverage to sell your product, you can find local celebrities in a local market that are almost basically free. You give them a free product, get their endorsement, and then using that endorsement to sell to people in that same local market to have an edge and separate out all the other national competition, at least for that local market. And then you do that on a local market by market basis. I'm going to give you some examples of different markets where we did this in and got great results. And then of course the type of results that you can get adding this to your strategy. So long story short, if you're not getting the return you want out of your online Facebook ads, even if you're running Google display ads or LinkedIn ads, whatever, selling a product, and you're not selling strictly locally, you're trying to sell nationally, this method will be able to pump your ROAS/ROI up multiple factors. The only question is how many different multiples of the ROI you're getting already is it going to go up. The better the implementation, the more the ROI increase you're going to get using these methods. So that said, many people, national product sellers think it's easier to get customers selling nationally, even though they could sell even in their local market, and what they ultimately are trying to do is have one ad that they can market to everybody in the United States wide, if you're marketing in the United States, because it's easier basically. If I could have that one, they want to find that, in other words, one perfect ad, that if I just find the right ad and the right audience, I could sell millions of dollars worth of my product because I can run that ad to everybody in the country, whatever. The problem with that whole idea is, by the way, even if you're a decent marketer, is it's hard to win that way as you have a lot of competition in your market. Generally, you don't have the convenience of having no competition. If you do, that's a different story, but 95+% of the people watching this have competition. So now you've got 5 or 10 other people that you got to outcompete, so that people that you're marketing to, let's say on Facebook, that you give the idea to buy, don't end up just buying from somebody else that's a little bit cheaper than you, or has a little bit better reviews than you, or just has a better website than you. So you spend all this money educating the market, and then they end up going to buy from somebody else. You have all this competition. It's actually really damn hard to run an ad for a product nationally, outside search engines where people aren't, respectively looking to buy right now. And even if they are, you still got all that competition. And then get the ad to pay for itself, pay for the cost of the ads, ad spend, pay for the cost of that product, what it costs to buy that product at wholesale price, pay for the cost of the shipping, pay for all the costs, and then still have money left over. It's actually quite hard. In a lot of markets, if you see your competition doing it, it's not making money. They actually have other parts of their business that are bringing in customers that offset the cost of those ads, or they have investor funds and they're not profitable. They just are trying to grow the top line revenue. So it's deceiving. People see, oh, my competition's running an ad on Facebook, it must work. And that isn't necessarily the case. What I'm saying is, forget trying to just take the easy way out and have that one ad that you think you can find that'll just work, so you could just sell millions and millions of products of your products through Facebook, through LinkedIn, through Google Display Network, through YouTube ads even, and think, how can I break up my message to speak to people individually, just like you could do, there's usually several types of buyers who buy your product. And one of the ways you increase your ROI is you speak to each individual type of buyer differently, because that'll increase your ROI. Well, the other way that you can kind of do the same thing that's even more powerful is speak to people in different geographic markets and therefore be more relevant to the people that you're trying to sell to. You're not just a mattress company anymore. You're a mattress company that is highly relevant in my local city for whatever or some reason. Therefore, I should pay attention to this. If you get people's attention more so on a product that was identically, it's the same product that you're selling that you were selling nationally, but because I got attention at a higher rate than my other ad that just didn't speak of the local market that our prospect seeing the ad is in, we'll get a higher rate of attention from the people that are showing the ad, which will increase our ROAS. Because ultimately, if you didn't know already, the higher the rate in which people click on your ad, the higher your ROI is going to go, because your cost per click goes higher and higher and higher, the less and less and less your click-through rate on your ad actually is. And how do you get the click-through rate up? You be more relevant in your ad. And there's only so much you can say to make people interested in your product. And the way that you take it to the next level, like I said, is you break up who you're talking to, so that people that are buying for reason A that they normally buy from you on the 4 or 5 reasons why they buy your product, you speak to them individually, or you speak to them as is. You got a product that works great for people that are in your local market, and here's why. So to give you some examples of this, you want to, even though you're trying to sell nationally, run different campaigns and speak to these people as if you were a local product company selling in your local market. That should be the general feeling when people see your ad when you start using this method. So like I was saying at the start of the video, there's one main way that you do this out of 2 main ways, of which you can have a product and talk about how many people from their local city or their local neighborhood or whatever you want to do. The more local you go, the more the ROI jump you're going to get, because that'll make people take notice of your ad a lot more than they would otherwise. Double, triple the click-through rates just by having something about their city, their neighborhood right inside your ad. We did this for a weight loss program. It was a national weight loss program. As soon as we used my idea of saying, see how much Sally has lost weight using this weight loss program, and saying that Sally is in the same city that person's in, i.e. a town of about 10,000 people, the click-through rate on the ad just jumped up a whole shit ton just from having the fact that somebody local to their area, they may know, maybe they don't know, but it's somebody in their local area, they want to see what the hell this weight loss program is now. To where that weight loss program certainly was not going to be something they were going to be interested in if they didn't see that inside the ad. So all it took was for that one little thing to get the ad to be profitable. And without it, it wasn't profitable. If you could tie in an element of having a group or forum for your customers, like we did for in this person's case, where we had a series of ads that would show up for these people in this local market, all which have a local context to them, talking about how we get great results for people in your local area, and we would show, like, you can't do before and after photos on Facebook, and this is where we were advertising, but we did like a before and then an after with a question mark where the after was supposed to go. And we said, just see what results Sally got, that, Sally from XYZ town that you're also in. You click the ad and then you could talk to Sally. And then we took them directly to a Facebook group where they could find Sally and talk to her. And this Facebook group wasn't just for people in that person's town, but it was a real person that you could talk to. So a testimonial, I can tell you up front, is just 10 times more powerful if it's somebody that they can actually reach out and talk to, and even more so if that person is a local person that they could physically meet up with, or the idea being that they think that they could meet up with this person hypothetically or potentially. So we just had, with a client already, without my guidance, had a support group for people in the program, and I just took advantage of it, and I sent people to that support group as per some of our ads in the sequence of ads that we were showing to people in that town that spoke of that person's town inside the ad, if you will. So they were interested because somebody in their local town was getting results with this weight loss program, and they were also interested because they could go immediately, get immediate gratification by going to this support group where they could talk to that exact person from their town. That's a fantastic way to turn a product that's in a totally saturated market and get rid of all the competition in one swoop. So say who's using the product in your local market and put that into your ad, and if you can, send them to a group, a support group that you're developing on the back end, where people can actually go talk to that person in the support group, so to say. And of course, the people in your ad that you say are getting the results, encourage them to be in the support group so they're reachable in the support group. If you couldn't do the support group, or the people that you're putting in the ad wouldn't be in the support group, the second best thing is to send people to a landing page and talk about the person that used your product that got results from their local market, and put a link to their Facebook profile. So if they wanted to reach out to that person, they could do it directly. And then compensating the person that used your product there, that you're featuring in the landing page you're taking them to, so that they'll speak on your behalf, basically. So that they can see it's real. They know it's not just a random bullshit testimonial, because people are highly skeptical of testimonials, even if you show a picture of somebody in the testimonial, which makes it better than a text testimonial. But when you can link to a real person on Facebook, it makes it totally believable. And not that many people are going to reach out, by the way. Very few. Just the idea, the fact that you can go and ask this person a question immediately makes it real. And the fact that it's a person in their city makes it seem like, yeah, or it's more likely in their head that they're going to be able to get those results too. Because normally they see a testimonial, they go, it worked for them, but I don't think it'll work for me. Well, they're from my town, so it has to be able to probably work for me. This person's just like me. They live in my town. And so what you got to do then basically is have a campaign for each city that you're going to target, or town, if you will, which is a small problem because Facebook only allows like 250 ads in your account. So if you're going to target individual towns like this, you got to have multiple Facebook accounts. But the results are so good and it's so scalable, because obviously once you find out it works for one town, you can just copy and paste that for all other towns you're targeting. It's worth it. You could have lots of different Facebook accounts. You just can't do it all within the same account. So just something to bring up in advance, but you literally will just test it for one town. I recommend you go super narrow, town of like 10,000 people. And then once that works, do other towns of similar size. Don't try to go and say, Jimmy from Dallas, like I gave you as an example before. It will work okay, but it won't work nearly as good as, Jimmy from Arlington, which is a much smaller part of Dallas. And furthermore, by the way, if you don't have too many customers from one small town of 10,000 people, run your ads that you're going to run anyway. And instead of targeting the entire US, just target people in that small town of 10,000 people, so you get 2 or 3 or 4 customers from that exact small area. Because at least then now you're set up to use the strategy I'm sharing with you and can get those results. And then of course, so you're basically running the campaign at a loss for a while to get the ammo to do the campaign strategy I'm showing you here. And then you'll make your money back. And then when you're making money, then you could do it in another town, get your people that have used your product in that small town, then do it, run your campaign for that town exclusively, make your money from that, roll it into doing another town and another town and another town. So that's the individual strategy that most of you guys will be relevant to most of you guys to do, or probably for yourself as well. But there's another way to do this local adaptation style marketing to market a product that doesn't have anything to do with customers per se, but ties into other people that are known in that person's local area, that if they knew that that person endorsed your product or used it or recommended it, it would be much more likely that they would take a serious look at what you're offering, having seen that specifically. So again, you could get Shaq to endorse your product and then run that ad nationally, and that will help your ROI. But I can tell you from experience, finding that person that has Shaq's reputation in a local market and then saying that that person endorses that product and then marketing that fact that that local celebrity endorses your product to people in that local community, it's even more powerful than saying that Shaq uses your product for most markets. Because it has that local element to it. It's something they also haven't seen before. So if you got let's say you have even an exercise piece of equipment. If you've seen your local mayor uses this exercise equipment and likes it and says that everybody in town should use this piece of equipment, and you put that into an ad, you're going to have pretty good response, at least as compared to when you marketed that equipment nationally. If you have a shit product, it's not going to sell regardless. But to get 3 or 4 times the ROI, or if you need 3 or 4 times the ROI you have now to market that product on Facebook and make it work, then you just simply are going to go locally and find somebody everybody knows in that local market to test the product, use the product, and then be able to use their likeness in the advertising for that product for the people in that local community. We did this for a mattress company, and for different markets, different people are going to be thought of as more, their endorsement's going to be weighted more heavily. For a health product, having a doctor recommend your product would be the best instead of the mayor of the town. In some other instances, it could be the police chief would be the best, most effective endorsement you could get from somebody in a local community to sell a product to people in that local community. We did it for a mattress company, and we got chiropractors to recommend the product, which I'm sure you've seen it before on TV. What do they do to sell toothpaste? They say 4 out of 5 dentists recommend this toothpaste, which is really it's a play on words, because 1,999,999 people dentists could not recommend the product, but 5 out of 1 million do. And they could take the 5 people and say 5 out of 5 dentists recommend this toothpaste, and they would not be lying. So I'm not saying that's what this company did, but for you to come up with a claim like 10 out of 10 dentists in the local Denison, Iowa area recommend this particular product. It's still going to fool most people, if you will, into thinking that this is the best product out there, period. If they're already looking for a product like that, now you just made it obvious which one to pick. If you're not looking for that product outright, as long as you targeted the right person with the right traits, you could still have a very high chance of selling to them, which is, you could go both ways with that, which I'll talk about in a second. But we had local chiropractors backing the product, and we said 4 out of 5 local chiropractors recommend this mattress to relieve back pain and that kind of thing. So, and then with that, we obviously didn't have a support group, but we sent them to a landing page and mentioned who the chiropractors were. And to get somebody like a chiropractor to back your product, legitimately, maybe it's good enough they'll do it for free, but in some cases, you could just simply say, we'll give you 1% of all the sales that our campaign generates for letting us use your name on our landing page and on the ads if necessary. Which, by the way, on the ad, in that case, so instead of just having a picture of the chiropractor on the landing page, I would also recommend putting it on your ad, as long as they're really well known in their area. Because just by seeing that, they're going to stop scrolling and it's going to catch their attention. So that's what we did there. And of course, on your landing page, like we did here, if you were doing something like this, you're going to mention the chiropractors in question on the landing page, and then you're going to link back to their Facebook profile so that they could potentially talk to them if they wanted to. And of course, it's a local person. They could just go into their chiropractor office and talk to them. Or so, they're not going to, but that's so the thought. And that adds so much credibility to the product for the person that you're trying to market to. It's about the best thing that you could possibly do to increase the ROI/ROAS on your product campaigns that you could come up with. So that's an example of where we could do this before, or where what you could also do to do this so-called local adaptation marketing to sell a product out there and get your ROI up on your campaign. Doing this kind of stuff, you should get at least a doubling of the ROAS on your campaigns, ROAS/ROI, and in some cases we're seeing up to 10 times increase in ROAS, depending on who and how you do this exactly, how well it's pulled off, but it's going to be a ton. The best is targeting people already looking for your product first. So if somebody's already looking for a mattress, then you come by and you say, hey, 4 out of 5 local chiropractors in your city recommend this specific mattress. It's an easy sell for the most part, versus if they don't want a mattress, but you're targeting people with back pain, you could probably still sell it to them. But before you extract all the value from using this technique for people that already are looking for a mattress, it doesn't make any sense to run a campaign elsewhere. But you should be able to make the campaign work targeting people with back pain, even though they're not looking for a mattress, because you've got so much credibility with the local chiropractor saying that this thing gets rid of back pain, if you follow me here. We also did this for selling a security product locally, and I mentioned police chief. We got the local police chief to endorse a security product, and we targeted people that are looking for that security product in that general category of what it was in, but we also targeted people that were business travelers, affluent, indicating that, and which in that security market is a really, the affinity to a security product like we were selling, there's a good match there, because if you're out of town a lot, people, and you have money to spend, they're a lot more likely to buy this kind of security product that we were selling, as well as any kind of security products at all, really, than the general person who isn't out of town a lot and isn't making a lot of money. So the endorsement from the police chief actually got the campaign to be profitable, but without that endorsement, it just simply would not work, and could not work. So that's another example of how to actually do something like this. So that's local adaptation marketing in a nutshell. Figuring out how to take people from the local area, get them to quote them on what they think about the product, adding that to your marketing. and then making it appear that who in their local area uses that product is approachable to back up the claims that those customers are making, either through sending them to a support group that they're in or sending them to their Facebook pages itself. Whether you have to compensate them or not, that's, depends on your local market and who it is and what it is, but is worth quite a bit of money, even if you have to give some. For the most part, I would just recommend, if you've got to pay somebody to be willing to speak to your customers that you're trying to sell to on your behalf, you just give them a cut of all the sales. So we're going to set up our tracking through our campaign. Everything that we sell through here, we're getting 1% of the gross, not profit. And for most people, for the most part, would be willing to do that. I mean, they're not celebrities in themselves, anyway. They're not used to understanding the value of their endorsements. So anyway, pretty much that's local adaptation marketing to sell a product. If you have any questions, let me know. Leave a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a comment on this channel, usually within a couple days' time. By the way, you can ask me any question you'd like about online advertising. This is all I do here. I'd be happy to try to help you out if I can. If you want to be able to make millions of dollars with your online ads, I have a ton of content on this channel that you should therefore subscribe to see, as I'm giving you the real working strategies of what's working on Facebook, on Google, and so forth in real time, as we're testing on an ongoing basis at our agency stuff that works versus doesn't work and giving it to you on this channel. I personally manage about 50 different accounts at any given time or more, and we got to guarantee results for our clients at our agency because that's what we're doing here that's unique. So all the stuff we use to guarantee results, I'm giving to you on a silver platter here on this channel. Therefore, it's the best information you're going to find on YouTube because it's coming straight from the source, not a YouTuber who doesn't do ad management for a living mostly or manages just a couple campaigns. And if you like the information that you're seeing here on this channel, I also got a blog on my site at guaranteeppc.com/blog. If you like the channel, you like my blog. As a final note, I offer a couple different programs at my agency. First of all, if you're trying to make some good money and you don't care how you're making it, instead of building up an ad account for what you're doing yourself, contact us and see if we've done a campaign in your market before. We sell the templates that work for different markets, dozens of different markets we have campaign templates for, and the results are as good as turnkey as they get. We can give you the exact ads, exact landing pages, everything that work for your market, and you could outsource all the work just because you have the campaign that just churns out profit in that market, or you could use it for your own company. But we've got people that the campaigns work so good, they outsource the work and they take a cut off the top, and because they have the campaign template we gave them that works, that we've spent years optimizing before they actually used it, they've got a profitable business in and itself. We can let you know what we have results in terms of what markets and what those results are. If you reach out to us, I'll be happy to speak to you. And then of course, if we haven't worked in your market, I'd be happy to try to see if we can work together to optimize your campaigns, as we don't charge clients any fees for managing their campaigns up front until we got them some additional sales, more than the sales that they're getting now. And respectively, after we might have to double your sales before we charge our monthly fee, and then we'll have like a 12-month agreement after that or something like that. Or we'll take a certain percentage of your sales increase you get at your company, and we'll work with you to help manage your ads moving forward. We're doing that more and more all the time, to where we'll just be your ad partner. We do everything to scale your results, which I'd be working on your stuff directly, and you give us 1-2% of your sales increase moving forward, and we're partners in business in that way. No upfront costs per se. Anyway, if you're interested in a partnership like that, reach out to me at guaranteeppc.com. I'd be happy to look your stuff over. We don't work with everybody, but if you have a good product or service that looks like it could sell, and you just need the right marketing, I'd be happy to be able to potentially work with you. I'll wrap it up with that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in my next video where we have another great strategy for you then. See you later.